Okay, so hello. Today I just want to talk about another quick thing with the DLC. So I think, me personally, I think that they actually did the DLC really well. Especially since a lot of controversy was being made with depending on regards to if it was like a new map or if it was just shifting Earths, and because they advertised it as a shifting Earth, but it actually just turned out to be a shifting Earth that is also a new map. So it's like, um, yeah. So it worked out in the end. It's a new map, but there's a lot of things surrounding that. So that's why I want to cover today. Just two things, right? So first of all, this is separate from the map, but this specific thing, we have no DLC weapons at launch. So like if somebody said, go to the equipment and you just scroll through. I think this is showing everything. You can show for, yeah, you can just go down, scroll down, blah, 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 and you see everything. Not a single DLC weapon. Um, Simple thing to test, really, just do that, and you see that it's all the same weapons from the base Nightreign that allegedly they're made aware of and they want to fix for the future, but what I don't understand is that even if this took like a long time to prepare, like with regards to the weapons, like if the weapons would have taken longer than everything else, I don't see why they wouldn't just, because if they're thinking about it from a company standpoint, any game journalist with an eye for these things would say, okay, we got this, we got that, we got new map, we got new structures in the map, new everything, but no new weapons, and that will just be a major con. So like if From really wanted to focus on, instead of just getting money, if they wanted to focus on review scores, they would have released it with at least maybe a few new weapons and then say more coming soon. Like I don't see why they would just release only the new characters, the new map, the new this, that, but not include the weapons, which is very odd. It's a very odd thing to just say, okay, we might release it later on in the future. And I don't even know if that's a full confirmation. I've been hearing news that From Software knows about it from other people, but that's not really a confirmed source, if that makes sense. So, and when is it? When will the new DLC weapons will be added? I don't know. But the other thing that's just I'm gonna go over real quick is this right here. So you'd see Note Well for the regular bosses, and you'd see that the Great Hollow, that's the new map, what it's called. It says that it only occurs with downloadable content targets. So if you scroll through, you see Tricephalus, Gaping, Sentius, blah 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 blah, right? So you'd go to Balancers and Dreadlord. So basically, what this Note Well NB means is that you can only go on the Great Hollow with Balancers and Dreadlord. Not only that, but the thing is that limited to two bosses, and even worse than that is that the Deep of Night, the Great Hollow is not affecting Deep of Night at all. It adds a second Note Well NB to this. So what this means is that From Software decided to release a new map, a new shifting grid. Okay, that's perfectly fine. It's a really good map. I like it. But what that means is that all of the other bosses. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not these. 8, right? And not counting these ones because they're just the Everdarks. So it's 8, right? Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Correct. Right. So those 8 bosses that from the base game, they're not gonna be able to be played for in the new map, which makes zero sense to me because all you would have had to do was program it to have your character spawn the things for the like. It doesn't make sense to me because even if you wanted to do it from a point where it's the old bosses, so you can't travel, but these when you're going into that boss room, it's like you go into the like the what do you call it? The slime or whatever. We're calling it weird right now. But you go into the slime and it transports you there. So I don't see why lore wise or whatever, it can't be that you just go into the slime into the new map and then you fight the old bosses. But even worse than that it's only stuck to balancers and Dreadlord, even worse than that is that the Deep of Night is practically fucked by this. Because I've been watching like Twitch streamers, and this confirms it because those who are playing on Deep of Night have only been playing on the default map. So even if I went to Collector Signboard, which I did, and I went over the Conjure Shift in the New Earth, which I did, and that's how I got the Great Hollow. But even if I did that, which I did, my Shifting Earth is on the way, but it still tells me that it will not affect the Deep of Night. So if I were to play this right now, it would not matter. I would not get the Great Hollow at all. Because it's not going to affect Deep of Night. So I would have to play as a player on the same boring ass old map if I want to play what is considered the mode with the most additions right now, which is Deep of Night. Because you have the relics for Deep of Night, and you have all the additional features that they added in Deep of Night. And so right now it's just like a waiting game. Like either I just play. The only thing that makes it kind of good is that you can play on these characters with any of them, but the new 2 DLC characters. But if you want to do that, like that's the only saving grace. Like you have no new DLC weapons, and you can play on Deep of Night, which is the most expansive game mode, with the new map. Why? On launch. So I hope that this gets fixed in the future because I have because in the long term, so like everybody right now is just playing Dreadlord balancers, right? Like all the mainstreamers. If I want to put it like that, right? Everybody just play balancers, Dreadlord, balancers, Dreadlord, balancers, Dreadlord, balancers, Dreadlord, like that, right? Eventually that'll get tiring, you don't think? So eventually when people see that gets tiring, they might want to go on Deep of Night. But then they'll realize what I realized that oh shit, I can't go on the new map with Deep of Night. So what the fuck am I supposed to do? Am I just gonna be staying on the same map with no new additions for the Deep of Night? But I get to play 2 new characters. That's my saving grace. Like I don't see why they. I can understand the DLC weapons a little bit to release it later on, but I don't see why they couldn't just program it to just have Deep of Night inclusion for the new map and for the old bosses, of which there are so many. It would have made absolutely no difference. Because at the end of the day, all you're doing is fighting the bosses. It does not impact the lore. It does not do anything. All it does is just have it in the new map, and you get teleported there at the end to fight the Night Lord. I have no idea why you would make that separately. But that's just me. I hope people eventually do wake up and realize that after they finish fighting Balances and Dreadlord a million times, they eventually realize, oh shit, Deep of Night is fucked. Everything else is fucked. So where's the new map? I have to go back to these 2 again? Okay. I hope people realize that because then we'll get complaints and then we might actually get a fix for this thing. So that's all I want to talk about. I hope it didn't drag on for too long. But those are just really my 2 main complaints for the Nightreign DLC. I hope that it gets fixed, and I think that everything else is basically fine about it. The new map itself, instead of being just a shifting area, was just honestly the greatest thing to ever happen. Even though it's like it's like we're getting what it feels like we're getting little of what we're. It feels like we're getting what we're supposed to, but It really is still a good thing to have that because a lot of people were thinking that it was not going to be a new map, but we are getting what we were asked for. Like it's like, are we asking for too much? I don't think we're asking for too much, honestly. At the end of the day, so we got what we got, and right now we still need some more stuff because this is not it at this point. Because for grinding, it's just gonna be on the same old map for Deep of Night, like I mentioned, and yeah, it's that's not gonna work out.